Good night of Shabbos, Parshas Vayishlach, Tafshin Pei Gimel. We are in the 16th, 15th day of the month. 15th day of the month. Yesterday was 14, today is 15, which is full moon, which means that Malchus is receiving fully receiving, as we also know that the sun is considered Chachma. Chachma is something that we can't grasp, we can't understand. It's just the koyach ma, it's the bittul. So too, try to stare at the sun. Good luck in the middle of the day. So this is where the moon is fully receiving from the sun. The moon is full, and we are working with the moon. This is Malchus Knesset Yisrael is the moon, and it's time to shine. Chodesh Kislev, Chodesh Agula. There's just a lot of stuff going on, one opportunity after the other. You can't miss it. You can't miss it, regardless of where you're at or what you're doing. It's you are receiving the shefa. We just need a bracha that we should open up to it and be able to see it and know how to start operating on that fuel. So we have וישלח Yaakov malachim lefanav al Esav achiv artze seis edei Adam. Yaakov is sending malachim to Esav, lefanav, to Esav. In other words, he's leaving Chutz La'aretz. He's going back to Eretz Yisrael, and he is checking out the situation, testing the waters. So there's a lot of back and forth between the Sfarim and questioning, saying Malachim Mamish or not Malachim Mamish, but bottom line is that Malachim Mamish, he's sending actual Malachim to see what's going on over here. What does it mean, Malachim Mamish? And not, because Malachim can also mean Shluchim. Rashi says Malachim Mamish, yes, okay. So let's go into, based on what the Zohar is saying that, and we spoke about this previously, we more explained is that when the child is conceived, there is a lot of layers happening around wrapping the child in positive and the not positive flow, whatever is happening around the child in the mother's womb and all that good stuff. And then as soon as it comes out, we have an opportunity to trigger the positive or to trigger the negative, to trigger the not positive. So here the Zohar is talking about saying clearly that the Yetzer Hara does not get away from the person from the day he's born until even when he's old, which means that there is always, this body is surrounded. There's two malachim. There's one Yetzer Tov, which is my positive thinking, and then there is the Yetzer Hara, which is the negative way of thinking. I have to call it what it is. So the Yetzer Tov comes in to the person when he turns 13. 13 is Echad, when there is one, when we have the ability to put together. We're coming in from Alma de Pruder, from separation, going into Achdus. That's when we are able to tap into Yetzer Tov, because he represents, once you tap into oneness, you tap into Echad, that everything is it, and the thing that is processing it, oneness, that is in separation, that is there to observe the oneness. So we're looking at from a place of a prat, from separation, and observing and appreciating the oneness. So what do we got over here? So we have, there's many consciousness, but there is Abiyah, which is Atzilas, Bria, Yetzira, Asiya. Let's go from bottom up. Asiya is the physical world that we're in, and then you have Yetzira, which is more the Ruach, and then you have Bria, which is Neshama. We're not going to go into Atzilas, but let's just stay here grounded. Now, where are these worlds? Where are these consciousness? Where is this happening? These are all happening within us. This is not somewhere that you're going to be going to after the Me'eva Esrim, 120. This is happening every hour, every minute. You can tap into all these consciousness. They are doors, and you can go through them. Asiya is my physical. When I do something physically, I'm in Olam Asiya. When I am speaking, so to speak, we're going up to Yetzira. It's the world of Ruach. spirit, and Olam HaMachshava, which is neshama, the panimi of the zach, that is in bria. Now these things, they change, but for the sake of the point that we're trying to make over here, we're going to go with that mahalach. So what we're dealing with here is sending out the malachim, sending out angels. Everything, every thought that we are having, every action that you're doing, is happens on every dimension, and there is malachim that are taking this up and taking it down. Malachim olam v'yordim boy. If I have a thought, the thought goes and carries, it goes up. If it's positive, it can go as high as it can go, and it gets more thin and thinner and thinner, until from a whole davening there can be one nakuda that hits the spot. Just like a child is born from, doesn't just the nakuda, the drop. That's where it all happens. You have to do one nakuda tova. See the one positive in the whole situation. Where is the positive within? And if you can't if you can't find the positive, because you are surrounded in the ball of confusion, you can have somebody else, a friend, talk it out, have somebody hold space for you. Holding spaces as you speak, somebody listens or asks the right question or not, just holding space until you can find the nakuda tova. It can be very difficult, and we go into a place of despair, a place of kind of yish, where we say, what's the point in doing this exercise? The point is that you have a job to Vayishlach malachim lefanav. You have to constantly send out feelers, send out positive vibrations, and see what comes back. Yaakov sent out his malachim, he sent out his thoughts, his intention, and what came back to him was that it's not good. We're dealing with Esav over here. We're dealing with Esav. Vayira, Vayetzeloi, he had fear, and it hurt him. He had fear that if he's going to get hurt by Esav on every level, Machshava, Dibur, Maisa, or Vayetzer, if he's going to have to hurt him, that he's going to have to do what he has to do in order to save positivity in Welt. So sending out, but ultimately what happened is that once Esav met up with Yaakov, he completely surrendered, he melted away. So what we take out from this, what the Torah is teaching us in particular, is that there is a intention. Yaakov's intention, his intention, he was holding, he worked for he was by Lavan's house 14 years, and then plus the 7, and the last week I was stuttering over it, there's another 7, Hashem ve'ever. So we have over there 14 and 6. So the question, so now the intention is where it's at. If you are at this point, you should know who you are. You should know what you stand for. You should know what's important to you. You shouldn't be afraid to tap into your true desire, because ultimately what is coming at you is what you're putting out. So understanding that there is going from Asiya, going into Yetzirah, going into the Olam of your speech, whatever you're saying, that's when you're tapping into the Olam Yetzirah, and then going into the Olam HaMachshava, which Moksha Machshavta Shalad Mishama Nimtza, as the Baal Shem Tov teaches us, getting to clearing my thoughts, and it all starts from within. The more mindful one is with what he sees, what he speaks, what he eats, what he listens to. It's not important to listen to everything. That is the type of malachim that you will be sending out, and that is ultimately, even if what comes back is not what you want to hear, but ultimately, if you're based on what comes back to you, and you tune in, tap into your deep desire and your intention, you will change the outcome. You will change the outcome, especially if it's a positive thought, only positive, because anything else is going to come back and bite you. Especially if it's a positive thought, you can change your world, and you are the center of the world. Wherever a person is, if you're mindful, that becomes the center, and with that you can change the world at all. So let's see what else we have over here. So we're talking here about the malachim, we're talking here about the thoughts from birth. You have two bodyguards. You can tap into, you can choose to see a person trigger his positive and trigger the negative. You can always find something that's not positive within self and within somebody else. It's not a stira, and it's not a big deal. It's easy to find what is wrong. We have to choose to have an ayin tova. The next thing here is from Imran Noyam. So we have the Akev, the Guf Hashemis, that basically he's saying that. All right, we'll finish up with that and we'll send out another one. I don't want it to be too long. Have an awesome Shabbos. This is the Shabbos before Yutas Kislev. It's important to, it's Rosh Hashanah for Chassidus, it's Rosh Hashanah for everything that you know. It's Rosh Hashanah for your existence, the interactions that we are having with each other, the interactions, the ability to communicate your pain, to speak about it, to understand it. That is, Yutas Kislev is what made that happen to us and is here for us. Chaim, have an awesome Shabbos.